septictank.co.uk. If you wonder why I'm a bit disheveled this morning and I've got dirt all over me and my hair's exploded and my hair, my brain's exploded and I've exploded, it's because I've been working hard on septic tanks this morning and got mud and clay all over me. But look, I'm here to do a live broadcast. Many people asking me, what is the best septic tank to buy? What's the easiest septic tank to install? And which system will I save the most money on? What's the easiest to put in? Because I'm independent, if you ring 100 different companies up, they'll all tell you the same, that their tanks are the best, their systems are the best. I don't operate like that. I just want to give you the facts and the figures, the pros and the cons about which septic tanks are available on the market, and then you can make your own mind up. Okay, so let's crack straight into this. Okay, so here we go. So let's pretend, right, you're looking to install your septic tank. All right, so look at that, we got the digger ready. Well, we did have the digger ready. Where's it gone? Wow. Okay, there we go, we got the digger ready. Okay, so we were just trying to fly off into space then, but we've got the digger ready. So what now? Well, let's start installing our septic tank. So let me just do you a cutaway section here. There we go. All right, so let's pretend that we're just giving you a cross section. Okay, so let's pretend that the digger is going to dig a hole. So let me show you what I mean. If you're worried about what all that is, no, that's not the hole you're going to dig. So if I just put the grass back, so there you go, that's all your grass. And what I'm trying to show you is, I'm trying to show you this hole. All right, so the digger is going to dig a hole. Okay, so that's the hole that you're going to dig. So if I take the grass away, there we go. If I take the grass away, you can get like a cross section of what I'm doing. So, all right, so with the digger, we're going to put tank number 1 in, and tank number 1 is the onion-shaped septic tank. There we go. There it is. And there you go. So that is the good old onion-style shape septic tank that's been around since, man alive, the 1980s. And let me just tone that down a bit. It's a bit bright. There we go. You can see it a bit better now. So they've been around since the 1980s. They're very, very popular. They were very popular because they're made from fiberglass and they're cheap to buy. Okay, so those are the prongs. Those are the pros. Okay, so the onion tanks are easy to, they're cheap to buy. They're not easy to buy. Nothing's easy to buy, right? But they're cheap to buy, okay, compared to a shallow dig septic tank, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. Okay, so the pros of the onion-shaped septic tank. Well, they were very popular because the only tanks that were around before then were the big concrete septic tanks. So if they wanted to replace their septic tank, then most people, what they did is found it a lot cheaper and a lot easier by just buying themselves an onion-shaped septic tank. Okay, so there we go. So there's not a lot really else to say about that. They were a lot better and easier to install than the concrete tanks. So let's now move on to the next septic tank, which is the bullet-shaped septic tank. There you go. So that's the difference between the two. Okay, so you got a contrast there. All right, so they're called the bullet septic tank because they've got ribs on. Ribs just like me and you have. And those ribs make them very, very, very strong. So they're very light, yet they're very, very strong. And they're called shallow dig septic tanks because, I mean, look, there you go. They're 50, 60, 70% less taller. They're shorter than the onion-shaped septic tank. So technology's moved on over the years. So in the from the Victorian era to the 1970s, you had concrete and brick septic tanks. Then you had the introduction of the onion-shaped septic tanks, and now the latest technology is the low-profile septic tanks. So there you go. So you can see they're a lot shorter, a lot easier to install. So with the onion-shaped septic tank, the hole is not just twice, 3 times taller, but the onion tanks are a lot more bulbous, right? So the hole typically for the onion tank takes, oh man, well, let's put it in perspective. A digger digging the hole for the bullet-shaped septic tank, you're looking about 40 minutes to an hour to dig a hole, all right, because they're so shallow. To dig the hole for the onion ones, they can be pigs. I used to put the onion tanks in, and when I found the shallow dig ones, I've never gone back to anything else. But the reason being is, it could take you a day, 2 days to dig the flipping hole on an onion tank, especially if you're in dense clay, hard clay, stuff like that. Okay, so that's the difference between the two regarding their size, regarding their shape, regarding their height. Another difference is this. With the onion tanks, you have to concrete them in. All right, if you don't concrete them in, the manufacturers will not warranty them. Secondly, if it rains a lot or there's a lot of moisture in the ground, the tanks will just pop up out of the ground, okay? And it's been known many a time the builders have gone back in the morning and there on top of the grass is sitting the big onion tank because they're so bulbous and they're so light. Yeah, a bit of water pressure just pushes them straight to the surface. So you've got to concrete them in. So this is what they look like when they've been concreted in. Yeah, pretty much like that, but I'm just putting it in perspective for you. Let me just turn the other one off because we've got half there. There we go. Stop a shimmer there. All right, so there we go. This is what they look like. They're massive. So, you know, to concrete an onion tank in puts another day, another 2 days on the job. Why? Because you've got to get a wagon in. You've got to spend 600, 700, 800 quid on the concrete. You've got to put it in the hole. You've got to put it all around the tank. You've got to make sure that the tank's in, the levels are right, and you've got to wait for the concrete to dry. And oh man, if it's raining, you've got to put a pump in the hole and pump the water out, and then put the concrete in, and then cover the hole over. And it's just a rigmarole. All right, so now compare that to the bullet-shaped septic tank. All that you need is a bit of shingle. So the shingle just goes up about 3/4 in height on the septic tank there, and that's it. Once you put the shingle in, I mean, blimey, it takes about half an hour. Then you just put the soil on top of it, and that's it. That is the bullet in. So the bullet literally, from digging the hole to putting the shingle in, covering it with, backfilling it over with soil, took about 2 hours, 3 hours if you've never done it before. On the onion-shaped septic tank, you're looking at 2 to 3 days. So that's the difference between the two. Now, onion tanks are still popular, okay, believe it or not. And I'll tell you why they're popular, because let's just say these are for a 1 to 2 bedroom house. The bullet septic tank will cost you about $599. The onion tank you can get for $499. So people think, yeah, all right, I'm saving 100 quid. And the builders, merchants, and everyone are like, yeah, we got some cheap septic tanks. Get the onion septic tank. They're really cheap. And they are cheap, but you really, really pay for it because, right, you've got to get a bigger digger to put the onion tank into the hole. You won't get the reach on a small digger, okay? You won't get the reach on the small digger. Number 2, you're going to use more fuel. Number 3, as we've already seen, you've then got to spend another 600, 700, 800 quid concreting in. So yes, you've saved 100 quid up front, but then you've spent another 12, 13, 1400 quid putting it in the ground, right? And concreting it in, and the hassle with, oh man. So for me personally, those are the pros and the cons between the onion-shaped septic tank and the bullet septic tank. So I used to sell the onion-shaped septic tanks. I don't anymore for that reason. They puncture easy. They're old technology. They were great in the day, but they've been surpassed by the bullet-shaped septic tank there. So in conclusion, you're probably wondering, well, okay, where can you get bullet-shaped septic tank from? Well, I'll show you. All you need to do is type in septictank.co.uk. All right, and my site will come up, and there you'll see on the site there's some shallow dig septic tanks. Okay, so you just click that, and then the septic tanks will come up. And let's go for this one. Let's say you've got a 1 to 2 bedroom property. There's a little video on the tank that you can watch. So, oh, there you go. Start. It should make a noise in a minute.
UK to install, thanks to its low profile, shallow dig design. This amazing septic tank will just take you under an hour to get in the ground with a mini digger. It's no wonder this is the UK's most popular selling septic tank today.
All right, so there's a bit more on that. It shows you how to install it, but look, they're $5.99. They're easy to install, and you can get them in within an hour. So just go to septictank.co.uk, add one to your basket, check out, and I'll deliver one to you. So there you go. That's basically the difference between an onion tank and the bullet tank. And what else have I? Yep. So for me, my opinion is that the bullet tanks win all round because they're easier to install, they're shallower, they don't need concreting in. You can get it, if you've never put a septic tank in before, you can get it done within an hour, 2 hours maximum. They're solid as a rock, but they're very light, they're very strong, the bullet tanks are. So there you go. So I'm not trying to demonize onion-shaped septic tanks, I'm just trying to be honest with you and give you an honest appraisal of what's popular now and why they're popular. All right, so listen, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this live broadcast. And if you want loads of free help and advice, then just go to, let's see if I can do this right, then just go to septic, oh man, everything's backwards, everything's like back to front and up and down, septictank.co.uk, go to septictank.co.uk. Anyway, I got there in the end. All right, and listen, you take care, and I'll be back for another live broadcast later.